You think scammers are confident criminals living the high life. You're wrong. After months of investigating the global scam network, I discovered something that will shatter everything you believe about cybercriminals. They're not living in luxury without a care in the world. They're living in constant, paralyzing fear. And that paranoia is destroying them from the inside out. What I'm about to show you is the hidden psychological warfare happening inside criminal organizations. The hunters have become the hunted, and they know it. Let me take you inside the mind of a scammer. It's 3 a.m. in Morocco, and Ahmed, not his real name, is staring at his phone. He's made $50,000 this month from Medicare scams, but he can't sleep. Why? Because he's convinced someone is watching him. He's right. Here's what I discovered: successful scammers don't just fear law enforcement. They fear each other. They fear their victims fighting back. They fear being exposed. They fear losing everything they've stolen. And that fear is consuming them. When my child's university account was hacked, I didn't just investigate the technical side. I studied the psychology. I wanted to understand what drives someone to live a life built on destroying others. What I found was a world of constant paranoia, betrayal, and psychological warfare. Every scam organization operates like a paranoid dictatorship. The leaders trust no one. They spy on their own workers. They use multiple communication channels because they assume everything is being monitored. In one intercepted conversation from a Tangier call center, I heard a manager say, "Check everyone's phones. Someone is leaking information." I don't care if they're family. These aren't confident criminals. These are people living in constant fear of discovery. Scammers use the same surveillance technology on each other that they use on victims. They monitor their workers' computers. They track their locations. They record their conversations. In India, I found evidence of scam managers using keyloggers on their own employees' computers. Why? Because they assume everyone is stealing from them or planning to expose them. The irony is incredible. People who violate others' privacy are obsessed with protecting their own. Let me walk you through a typical day in the life of a high-level scammer. Morning: check multiple encrypted phones for messages. Never use the same device twice for sensitive communications. Afternoon: meet contacts in different locations every time. Never establish patterns that could be tracked. Evening: sweep accommodation for surveillance devices. Change hotels frequently. Night: lie awake wondering if today was the day someone started investigating them. This isn't the lifestyle of a successful criminal. This is the lifestyle of someone living in constant terror. The biggest fear isn't law enforcement, it's betrayal from within. Scammers know that everyone around them is capable of destroying lives for money. If they can betray innocent victims, they can certainly betray each other. I've documented cases where scammers have turned in their own partners to authorities, not for justice, but for revenge or to eliminate competition. In Romania, an entire call center was shut down because one worker got scared and reported the operation to police. The paranoia was justified, the threat was real. Section 5. The psychological toll. Here's what years of paranoid behavior does to the human mind. Insomnia. Constant vigilance prevents restful sleep. Isolation. They can't trust anyone. Completely hypervigilance. Every notification could be a threat. Relationship destruction. They can't maintain genuine connections. Substance abuse. Many turn to drugs or alcohol to cope. Paranoid delusions. They start seeing threats everywhere. One former scammer I interviewed told me, "I made more money in 2 years than my father made in his lifetime. But I couldn't enjoy a single day of it. I was always looking over my shoulder. Remember those cyber servers I traced? The paranoia extends to their technical infrastructure. They don't just use one server, they use dozens. They don't trust single points of failure because they know someone is always trying to shut them down. They route their operations through multiple countries, not just for legal reasons, but because they're paranoid about any single government getting too close to their operation. But here's the fear that keeps them awake at night: they know their victims are getting smarter. They know people like me are investigating them. They know that every successful scam creates someone with a personal vendetta against them. When I started this investigation after my child was targeted, I became their worst nightmare, a victim's family member with the skills and resources to fight back. They're not just paranoid about random investigations. They're paranoid about the people they've wronged coming for them. Paranoia breeds more paranoia. The more successful a scammer becomes, the more they have to lose, and the more paranoid they become. It's a psychological trap with no escape. They start seeing threats in legitimate business communications. They assume every new contact is law enforcement. They begin to distrust the very platforms that made them successful. Eventually, the paranoia becomes so intense that it destroys their ability to operate effectively. They become their own worst enemy. The ultimate irony? These criminals who prey on lonely seniors become the loneliest people on earth. They can't trust friends, family, or colleagues. They can't enjoy their stolen wealth because they're constantly worried about losing it. One intercepted message from a scammer to his girlfriend read, "I love you, but I can never tell you what I really do. If you knew, you'd leave me or worse." They've built prisons of paranoia around themselves, and they're the only prisoners. Every paranoid system eventually breaks. The psychological pressure, the constant fear, the inability to trust anyone, it's unsustainable. Some scammers crack and confess to authorities. Others become so paranoid they sabotage their own operations. Many simply burn out and disappear, leaving their stolen wealth behind. The very paranoia that they think protects them ultimately destroys them. So the next time you think about scammers living the high life, remember this: they're not enjoying their stolen wealth. They're drowning in paranoia, isolation, and fear. This doesn't make them victims, they chose this path. But it reveals the psychological price of a life built on deception. The luxury cars, the expensive homes, the designer clothes, they're not symbols of success. They're symbols of a prison built from paranoia and fear. As I finish this investigation, I want you to understand something: their paranoia is justified. People like me are investigating them. Victims are fighting back. Law enforcement is getting smarter. They should be paranoid. Because we're coming for them. Not with violence or illegal methods, but with investigation, exposure, and justice. Every view of this video increases their paranoia. Every share makes them more afraid. Every person who becomes aware of their tactics makes their paranoid fears more real. We're not just protecting potential victims. We're psychological warfare against the criminals who prey on innocent people. Share this video. Not just to protect others, but to let these criminals know that their paranoia is justified. We're watching. We're investigating. And we're not going away. The hunters have become the hunted. And they know it.